As Julia mentioned, welcome to our 9th annual State of the Village Address. Tonight I have the pleasure of providing opening remarks for our address, which presents an overview of the village's accomplishments over the past year. Tonight, each of our village's department managers will take a few minutes to share with you all the items of interest in their respective departments. We will also have an opportunity to hear from our partner taxing bodies, the Grange Park Public Library and the Community Park District of the Grange Park. Many of you know the village is celebrating its 125th anniversary this year. Throughout the year, the village, along with our partners, the Library and Community Park District, have hosted a number of celebratory events. Residents and businesses have turned out in record numbers to celebrate with us. It has been a pleasure to meet some of you and to talk with so many of you. Last month, we buried a time capsule in front of the Village Hall that will be open in 50 years, 2067. This month, the anniversary celebration continues as we unveil our community art project in Village Hall. The project will consist of hundreds of photos of the Grange Park families and mosaics made by each of the elementary schools. What truly makes the Grange Park such a wonderful place to live are the families, friends, and neighbors that make up our community. Please join us in celebrating our village birthday on November 17th. At this point, I would like to start our presentation by introducing our village manager, Julia Sevilla. Julia?
Mr. President, it is my pleasure to serve the village as the village manager, where I am responsible for the day-to-day operations of the village, as well as executing the policies as set forth by the village board and president. In conjunction with the village board, we have a dedicated staff who work hard each day to provide the best possible services for our residents. You will meet the managers from each of the departments this evening and get a sense of where they have focused their efforts over the last year. As I reflect on the last year, the village continues to progress forward at a time when the environment around us is challenging. It's ever-changing at the state and national level. While we have these challenges, we are able to forge ahead because we have dedicated and supportive leadership, the village president and the village board, committed organizations, the village and others, and an engaged community, all enthusiastic about maintaining a great quality of life in the village of Grange Park. Our focus is primarily planning for greater sustainability, and I think that this focus will come through in tonight's presentation. Everything that we do as a village starts with residents in mind. This includes feedback from our residents. This helps us form a vision, and the village board and the village president are responsible for articulating the vision for our community. It is then staff's role to help achieve it. And on a day-to-day basis, this means that we are executing and enforcing the policies and programs as determined by the village board, assisting in the development of policies by providing options and recommendations, working together on strategic planning, service delivery accountability, team building in terms of commitment and customer service to our residents, training and capacity for our employees, and the communication of information to residents, elected officials, employees, other taxing bodies, legislators, and anyone who will listen. And we call that market, market, market. We try with our best efforts to do good things and tell people about it. Altogether, we have our work cut out for us, but this is work for which we are all involved are very passionate. The village is a full-service local government providing services through 6 operational departments: administration, finance, building, public works, fire, and police. We have 46 full-time employees and more than 80 part-time employees, many of whom are paid on-call firefighters and also residents of this village. We also have a part-time elected clerk, Amanda Seidel, village clerk, whose duties are prescribed by state law and who is also the keeper of the corporate seal. Amanda also happens to be a very active volunteer in the community and serves as the liaison to our youth commission. This is one of my favorite slides that we have. It's very detailed, but also very important. This is a list of village employees. And the work that they do day to day is truly amazing. They're very dedicated. A lot of the work that residents will see, a lot of the work that they do residents will see, but there's a lot of work that residents don't see. But they work in an effort to serve our residents in the best manner possible. The achievements of the village would not be possible without the countless volunteers who provide service. We cannot build community alone. And some of those folks that serve in community service to this village are here tonight. Here is a list of advisory groups that provide recommendations to the village board or have specific authority as prescribed by state law. Each has a team of dedicated members, and we are so grateful for their service. They include the Board of Police Commissioners, the Sustainability Commission, the Commercial Revitalization Committee, Traffic Safety and Engineering Committee, Youth Commission, the Zoning Board of Appeals, Plan Commission, and the Police Pension Board. And while I was putting together this slide this year to thank all of the volunteers that serve on the village committees and commissions, we are, again, so grateful for their service. It occurred to me that there is another group of volunteers that we have that serve the village, and that is the members of our village board and president. We often get asked this question, so I thought it might be worthwhile to let folks know that our village board and president are also volunteers. They do not get paid for their service. So we certainly appreciate the time and dedication that they provide to the village. Finally, I would like to extend thanks to our community partners and those who are here tonight to present with us. Tonight is not only a time to reflect, celebrate, it is also a time to listen and be mindful of each other's concerns, issues, achievements, and goals so that we are better able to work with each other in the future. Taking stock and being proactive allows us to better anticipate challenges, react more quickly, look for opportunities to forge ahead in the best possible manner together for our community. I will now turn it over to our first staff presenter, Brenda McLaughlin, the Director of Public Works.
Public Works is responsible for the maintenance of the public right-of-way in our community, which encompasses sidewalks, public parkways, streets, street lighting, and our urban forest. Our department is also responsible for ensuring the safe and reliable provision of drinking water, handling sewer concerns, and maintaining the vehicle fleet for all village operations. To accomplish this, the village employs 9 people: myself, a foreman, a water operator, a mechanic, and 5 maintenance workers. In addition, we employ a part-time office person and 4 seasonal employees. After 24 years of service to the village, Clarence Gangian will be retiring in 2018. We greatly appreciate all he has done for the village and its residents, and we wish him a long, healthy retirement. The last year, we performed all the usual services you've come to expect: road salting, snow plowing, leaf and brush collection, sidewalk replacement, road repaving, and filling many potholes along the way. A new dump truck with detachable plow is being purchased this year to assist in the various seasonal tasks. In coordination with our contractors, we have removed 174 trees to date this year, most of which were ash. We're proactively injecting in strategic locations in an effort to save them from the emerald ash borer. During the year, the village did plant 114 new trees. Public Works maintains an inventory of all parkway trees, when they have been removed, and a planting list for replacement trees. Trees removed this year are scheduled for replacement in roughly 10 years as we plant 100 trees per year. For residents who want a tree sooner or who would like to select which species is planted, we do offer a resident purchase program where we extend our wholesale prices during the spring and fall planting seasons. The residents cover the cost of the tree, and the village pays for the planting and the delivery. Additionally, residents wishing to choose a specific tree can work with a local nursery to purchase and plant a tree that they select at their own expense. We do ask that before purchasing a tree, residents contact Public Works to clear the species and the location for the This year, Public Works upgraded the water meter radio read equipment. The original electronic equipment was purchased between the years of 2000 and 2002, and that technology is now obsolete. The new devices are able to determine high water usage and perform hourly reads in an effort to reduce water loss. The sewer lining project was implemented on Grange Road, providing value with increased water flows and money savings by eliminating the unnecessary digging up and removal of old pipes. This lining will extend the life of the pipe by 60 years or more. A water and sewer rate study was commissioned to anticipate the prospective project needs and requirements of the village water system. 93% of our water mains are over 50 years old, with 32% being over 90 years old. You'll hear more about the study from our finance director later. During the past year, 28 blocks were repaved and a number of streets were spot patched. Each of the roads repaved this year had their underlying sewers cleaned and televised, attending to any crucial point repairs in that stretch of pipe prior to paving. To better identify future road demands and maintenance strategies, a pavement condition index study is being planned to evaluate all streets and how best to maintain them going forward. Our crews extend their thanks to the voters who approved a $10 million referendum to repave streets in April of 2016. We have completed 26 blocks in 2016, 28 blocks this year, an additional 32 blocks are planned for resurfacing in 2018. Additional details on the paving program are available on the village's website, www.lagrangepark.org.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. My name is Chief Ed Rampa, and I am standing before you as a 19-year vet of this proud police department. In keeping with LaGrange Park's rich tradition of providing high quality of life for its residents, I am proud to report that our community has been recognized again as one of the safest cities in Illinois. This is the second year that we've been rated as number 19 in the top 20 ranking conducted by this well-respected, nationally recognized home security company. During 2017, the department experienced many new, exciting changes to our personnel team throughout the following promotions and new hires. John Strezzo was promoted to Deputy Chief on August 21st. John has been with the department for over 18 years and is now responsible for daily oversight of operation and administrative functions throughout the department. Tim Contois, who's in the audience tonight, was promoted on August 21st. Tim has over 15 years of service for the department and will oversee patrol operations as our operations commander. Sergeant Fran Morocco is an 11-year veteran of the department who provided oversight and direction to the midnight shift since his promotion on May 23rd. Matt Fellers, who also is in the audience tonight, was promoted to sergeant on September 26th. Matt is an 11-year veteran of this department and will provide oversight and direction to the afternoon shift. Nick Spurgash joined the department as a full-time police officer on April 17th after working in a part-time capacity for a neighboring community. Tim Burry is our new recruit who is currently attending the Cook County Sheriff's Department Training Academy. Tim's intended graduation is December 1st of 2017, at which point he will join us as a probationary officer. Shelley Johnson was hired on August 9th to serve as a secretary to the Chief of Police. Shelley brings over 26 years of law enforcement training administrative experience with her to her new position. The police department's commitment to the community outreach and engagement initiatives continues. We recently completed a second successful session of our Citizen Police Academy that enjoyed the wholehearted, overwhelmed participation of several residents interested in learning more about our department and how it functions. We plan on conducting both spring and fall sessions every year. I have some graduates in the audience tonight. The LaGrange Park Police Department also recognizes the integral positive role that law enforcement can play in the lives of local youth. Our commitment in safeguarding the well-being of our community's most precious resource is its children. It's paramount to us. The department continues to participate in the Spark Plug program an initiative that joins officers with at-risk students from Park Junior High and their families. In this initiative program, officers assist students with schoolwork, engage in other non-academic activities, and share meals with even their parents. In a similar vein, our Adopt-A-Cop program continues to be one of the more popular programs in which our personnel are involved. It consists of officers from Grange Park being adopted by specific grade levels as their officer for the school year. Each month, adopted officers talk to their respective classes in about a half-hour session that address issues such as pedestrian and bike safety, Halloween safety, respecting the property of others, and other areas of concern or interests which affect our youthful population. Perhaps the most beneficial aspect of this program is our ability to get to know our students as individuals, for them to get to know us on a more personal level as well. The Shop with a Cop program provides our staff with a deeply meaningful opportunity to provide gifts and resources for economically disadvantaged families that would otherwise go without during the holiday season. Additionally, the police department assisted local schools with hard and soft lockdown drills in an effort to enhance safety and responses to irregular occurrences in and around the school should they ever occur. Department personnel also has worked with Community Park District and the public library personnel to conduct intruder-type training alerts with their respective staff as well. We participate in National Drug Take-Back in conjunction with the Drug Enforcement Administrative Group and the Partnership for a Drug-Free Lyons Township. Our next quarterly coffee with the chief and staff will occur on November 15th in the ballroom at Plymouth Place from 7 to 8 p.m. Our community continues to benefit from the grassroots effort of our officers engaged on a regular basis, including officer walk and talk foot patrols and the placement of door hangers, alerting residents to potential safety risks eventually at their home front. Every August, the department hosts the National Night program for village residents. This hugely successful event is coordinated by Sergeant Felix Hernandez, who also will be assisted by Sergeant Matt Fellers in the future, and provides an opportunity for the community to engage with local law enforcement and learn about various programs and safety initiatives. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to President DeCipio and our trustees who are present as well, and all the village personnel who have contributed so fully to the success of this event. Looking forward, we encourage the community to remain informed and connected with us through the subscription to our online weekly safety bulletin. Safety bulletin, which can be accessed from the village's website or by contacting the non-emergency police telephone number. This bulletin provides safety tips and relevant information segments regarding local criminal activity, which may be a concern to our residents. 2018 promises to be another proactive year for our department. We are currently researching the reintroduction of local adjudication so that residents may avoid an inconvenience and expense of attending court by resolving local issued tickets here at the village. We will continue to work with local debt recovery to recover outstanding citations and late fees on behalf of our residents, and we are moving forward to implementation of a frontline program which will begin and provide residents with a newer, easier way of requesting overnight parking approval and conducting other police-related village business via an online protocol and from a convenience of their own home. I would like to now introduce the Executive Director of the Lyons Township Area Communications Center, known as LTAC, Kim Knudsen.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to be here this evening to provide you with an update of the Lyons Township Area Communications Center, also referred to as LTAC. I'm happy to report that on March 20th of this year, 14 LTAC dispatchers were sitting at their workstations as the new Lyons Township Area Communications Center began dispatching and answering 911 calls for the villages of LaGrange, LaGrange Park, and Western Springs. We are very proud to have completed this consolidation, which will provide emergency telephone services to residents and businesses for many years to come. Designed with future expansion in mind, the new Lyons Township Area Communications Center will be able to accommodate internal growth as well as the potential addition of more agencies in the future. The newly consolidated LTAC Dispatch Center is equipped with state-of-the-art technology that includes updated radio consoles, updated call processing handling equipment, and an updated recorder. The inclusion of this updated equipment will prepare us for the future for the next generation 911 requirements. Also, as part of this updated technology project we worked on, we updated our CAD, which is also referred to as our computer-aided dispatching software. The CAD system is one of the most important tools utilized by a public safety answering point. All reported incidents are entered, dispatched, managed, and tracked via this software system, making it mission critical. The lives of citizens and public safety personnel heavily depend on the CAD system consistently performing at the maximum operational effectiveness and reliability. Although a CAD system is just one of many systems the public safety departments utilize, it is often considered the heart of public safety operations. It is the mission of the Lyons Township Area Communications Center to provide the residents and visitors of the communities we serve with a timely, accurate communication link to emergency response services by providing high-quality, professional, and effective communications, and to ensure responder safety while striving to save lives and protect property. We'll strive for pride, professionalism, and excellence in every contact with both citizen and sworn personnel in order to maintain a safe and effective environment for all. We will maintain the highest level of integrity, train for the future, and represent ourselves in a professional manner at all times. As a reminder, the LTAC Dispatch Center is located at 304 West Burlington Avenue, which is in the LaGrange Police Department. The transition is meant to be seamless, so access to police and fire services can still be obtained at each village facility as it has in the past. Thank you for this opportunity. Now I'd like to introduce Fire Chief Dean Magus.
Good evening. As the fire chief, I've now had the privilege of leading the village's fire department for over 16 years. Our fire department personnel continue to work hard to maintain and, when possible, improve the level of service we provide. Each of our individual employees are vital to those services. Our fire department still continues to operate what is considered a combination staffing model, where we are staffed by 6 full-time contract paramedic firefighters, but mostly by dedicated part-time paid-on-call personnel, currently about 40. Our organizational structure has provided substantial cost savings to the village compared to neighboring departments, which are mostly staffed by full-time career firefighters, but it does make staffing very challenging. Most of our paid-on-call personnel hold full-time jobs in addition to their service to the village, with many having careers outside of the fire service. It takes great dedication from our personnel to be able to serve the village as a paid-on-call firefighter, EMT, or paramedic, as they not only have the demands here, but those of their full-time careers, coupled with the various other life struggles and demands such as family and home. Over the past year, the fire department once again responded to nearly 2,200 calls for service. Nearly 1,700 of those responses were EMS-related, summoning ambulances, paramedics, and EMTs. Although many EMS incidents can be quite challenging, our EMS personnel not only train to provide expert emergency medical care, but they do what is possible to provide compassionate care. They are continually aware that although an incident may seem routine to us, it is probably a very significant and possibly scary event to the patient or their family. Once again, this past May, several of our EMS personnel were again honored by the Loyola EMS system staff for the job they did in the field. This particular incident that they were honored for this year was for the immediate care and transport of a motorcyclist gravely injured in a crash on LaGrange Road. Our firefighters also responded to nearly 500 other types of emergencies and incidents, which included such things as structure fires, vehicle crashes, gas leaks, carbon monoxide problems, and many others. Some incidents of note were a house fire this past August in the 400 block of LaGrange Road, assisting with a significant house fire on 41st Street this past March in LaGrange, and a fire in an attached garage in the 600 block of North Catherine this past January. We also responded to several significant vehicle crashes requiring rescues, including one on LaGrange Road near Scottdale this past June, and one this past September at the intersection of 31st Street and Alima Terrace. Based upon the knowledge and skills that are necessary to competently respond to these types of incidents and be a well-prepared firefighter, EMT, or paramedic, personnel train nearly weekly. In addition to this regular training on various techniques, tools, and equipment, there are many larger or unique training exercises that take place throughout the year. For instance, this past August, we were able to work with Plymouth Place to plan a number of training exercises in some of the outlying cottages that they were being demolished to make room for a new parking lot. During 2 of these exercise days, we conducted live fire training and invited several nearby fire departments to train with us. Our personnel worked hard for several days in planning and also preparing the structures for these live burns so that the exercises could be conducted safely. Much valuable knowledge and experience was gained in various areas by those who participated. Since last November, we have hired a few new employees to help fill vacant positions in our department. Both Evan Lilly and Kevin Volchek-Mann joined our department as paid-on-call firefighters. Also, Mike Schwerin and Matt Joyce joined our department as full-time paramedic firefighters on our contract with PSSI, and they will both participate as paid-on-call firefighters when not working their regular shifts. As you have heard, this past March, our new Consolidated Communications Center opened. I'm pleased to report that the fire departments which are part of it currently, LaGrange, LaGrange Park, and Western Springs, were recently awarded a federal grant to obtain new portable radios with what is considered truly state-of-the-art technology. This regional grant, which is part of the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program, was a total award of $339,000. With this grant, our fire department is able to replace all of our portable radios, which are a critical lifeline to firefighters who are in structure fires or at other emergencies. These radios have been purchased and should be placed in service in the upcoming months. Last December, in response to the overwhelming support of the village that we received in passing last April's fire equipment referendum, we ordered our new ambulance, which replaced a 17-year-old ambulance. We purchased it from Foster Coach in Sterling, Illinois, and by using a suburban purchasing cooperative. It was built this past summer in Ohio by Horton Emergency Vehicles, and we took delivery in August. In addition to many other safety improvements, one of the items of note is a new powered stretcher and loading system, which will reduce the potential for back injuries. The cost for this system was partially offset by another $15,000 grant that we received from IRMA, our risk management pool. In early September, following passing the inspections by both IDPH and Loyola EMS system, the new ambulance was placed in service. We are very happy it is here to serve you, but we also hope you never need it. This past January, also made possible by the residents' generous support of our referendum, we ordered our new Quint aerial ladder truck, which will be replacing our current ladder truck, which is 27 years old. The truck is currently being built in Appleton, Wisconsin by Pierce Manufacturing. Members of our purchasing committee traveled to the manufacturing plant this past June to review and discuss the specifications, and we approved the final print this past July. We should be conducting some inspections soon during its construction, and the truck is due to be completed and delivered by the end of January. Throughout the last year, we also made some significant safety and maintenance improvements to our aging village fire stations. Station 1 is part of the village complex here and was built in 1974. Station 2, located on 31st Street, was built in 1957. At Fire Station number 1, we had the ceiling in our apparatus garage pressure washed and painted, eliminating years of built-up dirt and dangerous diesel soot. At this station, we also replaced and strengthened a rear concrete threshold in our garage, which a much-needed improvement. At both stations, we had the floors of the garages completely resurfaced, which eliminated several areas of damaged concrete and which provided us with new slip-resistant coatings or surfaces. The fire department continues to place a strong emphasis on providing fire and life safety education to the public. Our goal is to provide information to residents to understand how to prevent fires and when they do occur, what actions they can take to help survive or escape. Firefighters, again, throughout this past year attended a great number of events to provide these messages, such as block parties, National Night Out, the Haunted Trolley Trick or Treat, and Holiday in Park, among others. Although we work on this throughout the year, our department focuses on Fire Prevention Week during the month of October, in conjunction, again, with Fire Prevention Week. During October, we provide fire safety presentations at preschool and primary schools throughout the village. Also, once again, we also hosted our annual open house, which took place this past October 14th. We had a lot of rain that day, but we still had fairly good attendance despite the weather. Our personnel worked very hard to make a number of changes based upon the weather, but they did a great job in doing so and providing some great fire safety education to those in attendance. And we really appreciate all of those who still came out despite the weather. For those of you watching or here in the audience, obviously we want to take a minute to provide a fire safety message. We want you to make sure, seriously, your smoke detectors are working and are on every level of your home, that you plan and practice a fire escape plan when you do have a fire, or hopefully you never will, and consider installing residential sprinklers. As part of public safety, the village also operates an emergency management agency. Through such, should a significant emergency or disaster occur, village officials, employees, volunteers, and other agencies will help to serve important roles in coping with such. We participate with a number of other response agencies in planning and training throughout the year, including participation in the Cook County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. This past year, we added various supplies to our local EMA resources, and just 2 weeks ago, key members of village staff, along with the village president, toured the Cook County Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management Emergency Operations Center. This Cook County agency has a great number of resources that we have access to and it can acquire and utilize during large-scale emergencies or disasters. As you may know, in addition to serving as fire chief, I serve as the village's building commissioner, in which I oversee building department operations. This department continues to operate staffed by only one full-time village employee specifically assigned to the department, Patrick Boyle, assisted by senior fiscal assistant Allison Chorley, who shares her hours with the finance department. And we are also supplemented by a combination of different contracted services. Patrick Boyle serves as the village's building commissioner, or building official, deputy building commissioner. He was hired this past January, bringing with him many years of working in municipal government as a building inspector and in code enforcement. Patrick handles many of the day-to-day operations of the building department while also coordinating his time in various inspections and plan review. Patrick has brought with him a vast amount of knowledge to the position as he built his own home in a neighboring village. He also has a great demeanor for the job, working closely with both residents and contractors on projects, and in many cases helping them to solve some of the problems that arise. Over the past year, the building department issued over 900 building permits. There are currently 4 new single-family homes under construction, and 32 permits for residential additions were issued over the last 12 months. Also over that period, 48 permits were issued for some type of commercial alterations, and over 1,600 inspections were conducted. There were some larger projects of note, including Nazareth Academy, which finished work on complete renovations to one of their educational wings, Congregation of St. Joseph, who completed significant renovations to their 3-story building and their site, and both MB Financial at the Village Market and Cork Keg and Spirits on 31st, which both underwent significant remodeling of their businesses. In the next few months, we should see more work at the Sisters, where the existing 6-story building is planned to be taken down and replaced with a brand new 2-story fully assisted living facility. I would also like to remind everyone that there are still 2 ongoing village programs that can help residents. Funding for the village's sewer backup prevention program is still available. This is where residents can receive some financial assistance to help offset the cost of actions to prevent raw sewage backup in their homes, especially during heavy rainfall. And some of these programs include such things as the installation of backflow prevention devices or overhead plumbing. Also, the village's downspout disconnection assistance program resumed last year. This program, managed by our special projects coordinator, Forrest Tucker, is funded by the Illinois EPA through an IGIG or Illinois Green Infrastructure Grant and can provide some financial assistance to residents disconnecting downspouts from the village's combined sewer system. Disconnecting downspouts is required by village ordinance, and again, this program can help you pay for such. Please check our village website to determine if you are eligible for either of these programs. And if you still have questions, feel free to call the Village Hall for additional details about either one of them. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to our Assistant Village Manager, Emily Rod.
Good evening. In my role here at the village, I have the pleasure of serving as the village's liaison to the business community and working with the village's Commercial Revitalization Committee, or CRC, to enhance the village's economic development efforts. Led by trustee Jim Kucera, the CRC has been hard at work implementing the Commercial Revitalization Plan, which was adopted in 2013. One of the reinvestment tools identified in the plan is the use of economic development tools such as tax increment financing, or TIF, and business development districts as a means of supporting reinvestment and spurring redevelopment in the community. Over the past year, the village worked with SB Friedman Development Advisors to implement 2 tax increment financing districts, referred to as the Village Market TIF and the 31st Street Barnsdale TIF. These districts went into effect on January 1st of this year. The village also implemented 4 business development districts in order to provide additional opportunity for reinvestment in our commercial areas. These districts include all of the commercial and industrial property within the village boundaries. A 1% additional sales tax will be levied on general merchandise sold within the district, bringing the total sales tax in Grange Park to 10%. Funds will be available for reinvestment within the districts from which it is derived. The new sales tax went into effect on July 1st. The village has over 100 businesses, including banks, retail stores, restaurants, professional and medical offices, and warehousing facilities. As in past years, the village experienced some changes in its business landscape. This year, the village welcomed new businesses, including The Wheel Thing in Village Market and Court Kagan Spirits on 31st Street. Catnap, which is also located on 31st Street, completed an expansion earlier this summer, and they now provide low-cost veterinary service to the community. Crown Trophy, which is currently located in Westchester, also plans to open along 31st Street in early 2018. The Grange Park Chamber, led by President Sherry Sauer and its board of directors, continues to grow its membership and expand its presence in the community. The Chamber provides an excellent opportunity for businesses to become involved in the community and to grow their business at the same time. Each year, the Chamber hosts a variety of business-friendly and family-friendly events, including the Haunted Trolley Trick-or-Treat, which was held this past Friday and brought hundreds of children and their families to the village. The Chamber also hosts the annual Holiday in the Park event, which is held each December at the Community Park District Recreation Center. These events are a great opportunity for the entire family to have some fun and support our local business community at the same time. Information about new business openings and other important village news is provided quarterly to residents via the Rose Clippings newsletter. Each edition of the Rose Clippings contains important information about village services, infrastructure projects, and village personnel. Residents may also visit the village website for information on village regulations, to review meeting agendas and minutes, or to watch a village board meeting online. The village is currently in the process of developing a new website that will have a fresh, modern aesthetic, enhanced mobile capabilities, and improved user-friendly features. To receive the most up-to-date information on what is happening in and around the community, the village encourages residents to subscribe to the village's weekly electronic newsletter, e-briefs. At this point, I would like to introduce the village's finance director, Larry Nielsen.
Good evening. The village's general fund ended the 2017 fiscal year in a stronger financial position than originally budgeted. Revenues were 4% above budget, while expenditures were 6% under budget. The current year expenditure budget for all funds is $21.7 million, including about $5.8 million in spending from the 2016 bond proceeds for purchasing a new fire truck and the road projects, as well as an ambulance. The village will soon begin working on the budget for the next fiscal year, which begins May 1st. Village staff will be working over the next several months to determine the funding plan to support core village services for the next fiscal year and forecasting for the long term. The process will culminate with several village board meetings to review and discuss the draft budget prior to the approval of a final document in April. As always, the challenge for the upcoming budget will be balancing the increasing cost of providing core village services against limited revenues. This challenge has grown in recent years due to the state's financial condition. About 20% of the village's general fund comes from the state. Although the state income tax was increased earlier this year, the local government share was proportionally reduced so that the entire increase goes to the state. Furthermore, this village has lost 10% of its income tax for 1 year as part of the state's budget plan. In prior years, payments of 911 and transportation funding were suspended due to state budget issues. Fortunately, the village maintains reserve funds to weather these losses in the short term. This year, the village worked with a consulting firm to complete a water and sewer rate study. The purpose of the study was to review the long-term operation and infrastructure requirements of the village's water and sewer systems and provide rate options that will provide the necessary funding. The study results were presented to the village board this July. The study concluded that the village should increase the rate of replacement of water and sewer mains in order to keep pace with the aging systems, most of which were installed over 50 years ago. The village board reviewed the recommended rate options and selected the pay-as-you-go option as the preferred plan. The pay-as-you-go plan will generate sufficient revenues to maintain a consistent repair and replacement program of the existing water and sewer mains without requiring additional debt. The entire study is available on the village's website, and further information about the rate plan will be included in the upcoming village newsletter and in e-briefs. Also this year, the Finance Department produced the village's first comprehensive annual financial report. Commonly referred to as a CAFR, this document contains much more than the statutorily required audit report and includes additional financial and statistical information about the village. The CAFR is considered one of the highest quality reports that a local government can issue. The Government Finance Officers Association has an award program to recognize these local governments that meet the high standards necessary to produce a CAFR. Less than 6% of cities nationwide receive the award. The CAFR will be presented to the village board at the November 14th work session and will be available on the village's website. Finally, I would like to thank the entire finance team, all of who strive to provide great customer services to our residents. Call or visit the Village Hall offices at any time, and they will be available to assist with any question you might have, from building permits to water bills. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. You know, in addition to our residents, I think you're seeing the reason why we have such a great community. It's in addition to the wonderful, professional, hardworking, dedicated staff and management team that you're witnessing tonight, and we are so blessed to have all of them with us. The village has worked very closely with our partner taxing bodies in the past, and now is no different. Tonight we are pleased to have representation from the Community Park District of LaGrange Park and also the LaGrange Park Library. So I'd like to introduce Alex Breedis, who's the Executive Director of the Community Park District of LaGrange Park, and Lori Whitman, who's the President of the LaGrange Park Library Board.
Good evening. My name is Alex Breedis, and I am the Executive Director of the Community Park District. First, I'd like to thank the village for giving us this opportunity to update the village residents. Our biggest challenge and accomplishment for this year has been the Memorial Park Improvement Project. This project is about $1 million project, with $400,000 of it being paid for by Illinois Department of Natural Resources, Open Space, and Land Acquisition Development. The district was awarded this grant back in April of 2014. Once the plans were completed and construction bids were approved, construction started in February of 2015 with the demolition of the old field house. Then in March of 2015, the grant was frozen by the state, which put a halt to the project up until August 2016, when the grants were once again released. Construction had to wait until the spring to begin, with official groundbreaking in March of 2017. Since then, construction has been moving forward slowly, but it has been moving forward. We have divided this project into 4 areas: the south walkway, the southwest corner, bocce ball court, and the picnic shelter/playground area. The south walkway was existing, however, it was not up to the Americans with Disabilities Act's regulations. To comply with the regulations, no section of the trail could be greater than a 5% slope or a 2% cross slope. This section of the walkway needed to be redesigned in the field a few times to make slopes work. The walkway now meets or exceeds ADA regulations. As Additionally, we filled in the area on the inside of the walkway to create a more usable level area and to create seating for the baseball field. The southwest corner includes a new ADA-compliant walkway, berms to enhance landscaping, electrical service for future special events, and a picnic shelter. We plan to use this area for special events in conjunction with the band shelter. The bocce ball court area features a new bocce ball court, a permanent bag setup, seating area, and outdoor exercise equipment. The picnic shelter / playground area is where most of the changes are happening. New picnic shelter with restrooms were constructed. The playground layout was changed and 5 new playground pieces were added. The area has new walkways that meet or exceed ADA standards and will have updated landscaping throughout the whole playground area. A splash pad was also added to this play area. It will consist of 3 in-ground sprayers and an above-ground water feature, all controlled by a push button. The splash pad also includes a water play piece for smaller children. This will give a place for kids to cool off during the hot summer months. A large detention pond was also constructed. This area will hold water in large water events, with the water being absorbed into the ground and slowly being released into the sewer system. It was designed to help with overall flood control in the entire area. With all the water that we received in October, we saw firsthand that it functioned as it was intended. Bringing all of these features together will be a concrete entrance with asphalt paths connecting the areas, all of which meet or exceed ADA regulations. Berms were added to enhance the landscaping. Construction has taken longer than anticipated. This is mainly due to the differences in the original plans versus existing conditions. We are making sure everything is being built to the highest standards so that future generations will be able to enjoy these improvements. Currently, the project is over 90% complete, and we plan to open the entire park for public use in November, with the splash pad opening in the spring. We would like to thank the village for their support during this project. We work closely with the village to meet all building requirements and with the stormwater management plan to help alleviate flooding in the surrounding area. And finally, we would like to give a big thank you to the residents for their patience during the construction. We look forward to presenting the revamped park to you for all to enjoy. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lori Whitman, and I'm president of the Grange Park Library Board of Trustees. It's my honor to serve this community alongside 6 other dedicated trustees. We believe the library is a special place for residents to gather and grow alongside one another. From the babies who attend our story times to grade school children choosing their first chapter books, from the teens who serve through our volunteer program up through the seniors who knit hats to give to new babies in town. All of these groups and more have found a comfortable, inviting place in their local library. This year has been one of tremendous growth for our library. Near the end of 2016, we announced that the library would be completing a project to add self-serve options and security to each of our physical items. That process was completed in early 2017, and for the last 10 months, we have been pleased to watch many residents utilize the new technology. Currently, around 40% of total checkouts occur at the self-serve machines. This has freed up our staff to do more in-depth customer service and connect with those who wish to have face-to-face service. In the last year, our visitor count is up 8% as more people choose to come to the library in person and make use of our many resources. The library offers year-round program and event opportunities to the public, and this past year we had 40% more people attend library programs than the previous year. Many of these new and more frequent attendees were children and families. Our children's department has grown by leaps and bounds in the last several years, and the board and staff are beginning to look for ways to accommodate the increased need for social and tutoring space, programming, and collections. Speaking of collections, we saw an increase of 6% in the amount of materials residents checked out this past year, which we hope reflects the effort we put into modernizing our collections and integrating new materials such as foreign language books. We continue to curate excellent resources for research, both online and in print. On any given day, you might see a dozen or more residents studying and working in our library space or asking a librarian for help selecting a book. Our talented staff answered an average of about 600 questions per month regarding research, reader's advisory, and technology. More and more people are visiting us to get help with using new technology and devices or to borrow laptops so that they can apply for jobs, and even to learn how they can download and save pictures of children and grandchildren who live across the country. It's a great joy for our staff when they're able to teach residents how to utilize the many resources available to them and see the positive impact it has. In the coming year, we look forward to teaching more people how to use amazing technology the library offers, like our VHS to DVD converter and our new laser printer, which is being delivered in March. The library also rolled out an updated website over the summer with a simplified interface, more intuitive event registration, and an overall improved aesthetic. We believe this is part of what increased our web traffic by over 20%. Our digital collections continue to grow, and this year we updated our e-magazine collection to extend our reach for those who choose to use the library primarily online. Many of you are aware that we completed an overall assessment of our library facility this past year, which is quickly nearing 30 years old. Several public discussion sessions along with a community survey and meetings with the library board and staff have resulted in a projection of facility repairs and maintenance costs in the coming 10 to 15 years. This assessment was born out of structural concerns that were brought to the board in 2015 in the hopes that we could get an idea of the best way to proceed with future projects. With the assessment completed, the board is ready to begin planning for next steps. This includes determining a long-range financial plan and setting a date for phase 1 of construction, which will primarily consist of structural repairs. We believe that our building and physical space is of great importance to the public, but there are many times that our presence throughout the community is required. Those with children in the school know we prioritize outreach to young people because we believe that building a child's love for reading early on in life will have a positive effect for years to come. Our staff do off-site story times at preschools and daycares. They show up for school open houses, do book chats with grade school readers, and promote reading programs across all grade levels. For the folks who cannot leave their homes regularly, we have bi-monthly delivery of reading, listening, and viewing materials to our senior homes. You might find our adult services staff at Plymouth Place or Bethlehem Woods each month doing technology tutoring with the residents to help encourage the understanding and use of technology. The goal is to reach as many residents as possible, and we are proud of the fact that 75% of LaGrange Park residents have library cards. If you're part of the 25% that do not have a card, we encourage you to visit the library and see what resources, services, and materials we have that can impact you and your family. Our hope is that the library continues to be a vibrant and welcoming community space that enriches the lives of those who use it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. So as you have heard this evening, there's many exciting things that are happening throughout our village. And this just doesn't happen by happenstance. It's due, again, and I can't enforce enough, the dedicated staff that we have with our village manager, Julie Cedillo, assistant village manager, Rodman, and all the dedicated professionals, the department heads, and all of those that are employed by our community. This is what makes us great in addition to our residents. And we're so grateful because they keep our quality of life where we expect it to be and where it should be. I want to thank those of you that have attended via television on Channel 6 or Channel 99. And I'd also like to take the opportunity to extend out to my fellow board members who are with us tonight. Trustee Jamie Zora, Trustee Scott Messick, Trustee Bob Lautner, Trustee Mark Sheehan, Trustee Patty Rocco, and Trustee Jim Casero were not able to make it tonight. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank all those committee members and those that serve on our commissions. And tonight with us we have Karen Boyd, who's the president of LaGrange Park, Community Park District of LaGrange Park. We have Eric Boyd, who is also chairman of our Zoning Board of Appeals. We have Rob Bartholomew, who is a member of our Zoning Board of Appeals. We also have a member in our audience who, we rely on young people in our community who are very talented and who strive that someday they will be up here or they will be running our community. We have Kyle Jarvis with us, who's a senior at Lyons Township High School. Kyle is working towards his Eagle Scout, and it's quite an accomplishment, and he's here tonight to fulfill some of those requirements, so it shows you the dedication of some of the young people in our community. We also have village Clerk Amanda Seidel, who's not with us tonight, and also those that we provide excellence in some of the departments of our community with Village Attorney Kathy Keating and our village engineer Paul Flood. I'd also like to thank LTTV and David Carafa, who is also present at all our board meetings that are televised, and they do a wonderful job in broadcasting our services. I'd like to thank all of you again, and with that, we will have refreshments afterwards. You have the opportunity to speak with all of the wonderful people that we have here tonight that have given presentations, and the board, and any questions that you may have concerning our community. Thank you for coming.